Hello, and welcome to the second edition of Crime Fiction Addiction. I'm your host, J.J. McGraw, and today we're going to be talking about the second book in the trilogy, which is Pieces of You, follows the initial kill. But the first thing that I'd like to talk about is a very special person that started out with me in the very beginning. Her name is Mary Ellen O'Shields. Most of us call her Mama O. We have known her for years. She was actually our English teacher in high school, and we've just all sort of stayed connected. But she stepped back into my life when I started writing again and has helped me tremendously with everything starting out. She has done readings for me, she has set up book signings, she's done business cards, she has been there to support me through all of it. She's done my editing and formatting, and she's just a wonderful person. She got sick in the around the first book of the second trilogy, and I actually had to have someone else come in and take over for editing and formatting. And I'll talk about her down the road. She's special too. But Mama O gets this one. She is a wonderful person, just a wonderful person, and I love her dearly. And I thank her for being in my life and continuing to support me in all that I do. We also have a special guest today that has been in the books since the second book in the second trilogy. They were mentioned and then they actually come into the book. They're throughout the book on the third book of the second trilogy. And hopefully, I can get them to come into the room where you can actually see them. But Chi Chi, you want to say hello to everybody? You want to say hello? That's Chi Chi. Chi Chi is okay. Do you want me to do your nails? Hates his nails being done. Hates his nails being done. He is my border collie, and he's actually a character, canine character in one of the books. So I just wanted to introduce him also. Today, I wanted to go over Pieces of You. It continues, like I said, the trilogy, the first trilogy. After Initial Kill and Jake and Dean are again in the town of Larson. That's where they live. And they have some things that start popping up. I have to put my glasses on so I can read. But they have some things that happen, and get the camera right. The case this time is about child abuse, elderly abuse, domestic violence. Things start happening in the town, and they're trying to find out what's going on, try to find out who's doing all the killings, what's it for, why are they doing it. Um, but basically, the one of the reasons is, or they wonder, is it motivated by the failed judicial system? Because we all know that sometimes it fails, or is it just somebody that's out for revenge, or just being sadistic? But they're called upon to try to figure out or find the killer in this book. I recommend that you get Pieces of You after Initial Kill. Like I said, that's the second book in the first trilogy. The next thing is frequently asked questions. Um, how do you decide about book signings and other public appearances? That all depends on other people to a certain degree. They may ask me to their bookstore, or they may have it at their home or in another business or a mall. You just really need to try to promote yourself and get yourself out there so that you can have some book signings, because they're very important. Just like networking yourself is very important, but it just all depends on who sees you and who wants to invite you into their um, bookstore. Um, or you could call and see if they do things like that. Another question was, when do you write? When I first started writing, I was actually working full time, going to school full time, and so I would have to try to write when it was late at night. and I just got used to that, so that's my best time is writing at night. The one thing you have to do is really, um, condition yourself to build a routine to write. You've got to write. If you don't write, your book's never gonna come out. You're never gonna get done with the manuscript. So you really have to set up a routine that works for you, that works the best. Um, do you ask anyone to read your manuscript before it's published? When Mama O started with me, she is the one that read, the manuscript, and of course, they have to with doing the editing, but, normally, I don't let anyone else read, the manuscript, just the person that's doing the work with editing and formatting. In the beginning, very, very beginning, I did let a friend read, the first one because I just wanted to make sure that it flowed and it was right. Um some safety tips like I did in the first one. And the reason why I give safety tips, and I get them, off the internet just like most people do, but the reason why I give them is because just like in the crime books, crime fiction books, they can happen in real life. And if we let our guard down, then something can happen to us or our family. The first one was get to know your neighbors. You want to know who's living beside you. Can you trust them? Who are they? It doesn't mean you have to be paranoid, but you do need to be try to make a connection with your neighbors. Get in the habit of locking your doors. This is true. Years ago, people didn't lock their doors, and that means doors to your vehicle, to your house. Check your windows, make sure that they're locked. Get a alarm system. Those are great. Get a watchdog. Dogs are the best. I have one myself, and he alerts all the time. Um, have an emergency exit plan. That's not only for if someone were to break in, but for fires, smoke, carbon monoxide, anything like that. You need to come up with a plan to be able to get out of your house in a safe manner. Take self defense classes. That's a perfect thing for somebody, especially for women. And I'm not saying that women can't take care of themselves, but women are, people look at women as the ultimate victim, and they're not always that way. They are not always the victim that people make them out to be. But taking self defense classes gives you more, I can take care of myself thing, and you can. You don't have to have somebody with you all the time. You can take care of yourself if you learn. Another one was use light automation in your homes, around your homes, outside sensor lights, lights that are on timers in your house. Um, always, make sure that it looks like someone's home or someone's up. Don't talk about your vacation plans on social media. Don't tell people that, "Oh, I'll be out of town for the next 2 weeks." Don't give them any clues about those things. If you wanna talk about your vacation when you come back, then that's great, but don't give them any ideas, if you're, going out of town. So today, that concludes, the second video into the, crime fiction addiction. Next time, we'll be talking about the 3rd book in the, um first trilogy, which is Legends Game, and it's on the wall back here. Um, but I hope you have a good day, a safe day, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much.